Okay, this is my full guide on how to improve FPS for Spider-Man 2 for the PC. Unfortunately, this game is very poorly optimized, but I found a couple of solutions that really increased my FPS, so try not to skip any steps. Okay, let's launch the game and change a couple of things in the game. Then after that, we will look at Windows properties to change. Okay, when you're here, click on Display and Graphics. There are a couple of different settings that we need to change here. The first thing you want to do, of course, is to lower the display resolution if your GPU cannot handle it. The next thing that has a big impact is dynamic resolution scaling. This should be by default set by your GPU, but if your game is lagging very bad, turn this off. Although the game will not look nearly as good. For the upscale method, DLSS crashes the game and lags the game for many people. If you're on an AMD card, I would recommend FSR 3.1, of course. You can turn this off as well, and this will improve the game's FPS dramatically. Okay, let's go to graphics. Texture filtering. You want to lower this to something like 2x if your game is lagging. Shadow quality. Lower this to something like low. This has a pretty big impact. Or very low. I would recommend low. Ambient occlusion. So I would recommend switching this from HBAO plus to SSAO. Or turn it off if performance is really not going well. Screen space reflections. I would recommend this to be off. This has a very low impact on the visuals of the game, but a very high impact on your GPU. Ray tracing presets. These, of course, have a very high impact on the game. So I would recommend, I like ray tracing personally, but I would recommend them being either on high, not very high. I have a 480, by the way, and a very fast GPU, and this lags my game like crazy. So if your GPU isn't a 4090, I would recommend turning this off. Crowd density. This should be, by default, I think this is high, depending. I would recommend this to be low or medium. This has a very high impact on the GPU. Depth of field. I would recommend this to be off if you don't mind it looking a little bit worse. Motion blur. I would recommend this to be off or 0 or very low. This has a high impact on your GPU and a very low impact on the game itself. Film grain as well. This is a high impact on your GPU and a very low impact on the visuals of the game. So I recommend this to be low or off. Okay, let's change some settings within Windows to improve FPS. Okay, we're back in Windows. Let's change a couple of settings in Windows to improve FPS in Spider-Man 2. Open the Start menu, type in Settings. From here, go to System, go to Display, and then scroll down until you see Graphics here. Click on that. Here on the top, you're going to see Default Settings. Click on Change Default Graphic Settings. And here on the very top, you're going to see Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling, or HAGS. This will be off by default. You want this to be on. This increases FPS in games. This is great. By the way, if you haven't updated your graphics card, of course you need to do that. If you don't have the Nvidia app, you should download it. And you just go to the drivers menu here and install it. They just released a new driver for Spider-Man 2 today, so make sure that that is okay. The next thing you want to do while you have this app open, go to Settings and disable Nvidia overlay. This does lag the game. While you're at it, if you're running on Steam like I am, you want to disable the overlay for Steam. So go to Steam, Settings. Now go to in-game. On the very top, it says enable overlay while in-game. You want to turn this off to make sure the game isn't lagging. The next thing you want to do is go into Windows Security and turn off your antivirus. This does lag the game, of course. Go into Windows Security, go to Virus and Threat Protection, scroll down, Virus and Threat Protection Settings, go to Manage Settings and turn off Real-Time Protection. Of course, I do not recommend this all of the time, but only when you're running the game. Turn it back on when you're finished. The next thing you want to do, of course, is use an SSD for installation. If this game is running on an hard drive, HDD, this will of course lag the game. By the way, make sure that Spider-Man 2 is installed on the same drive as you have installed Steam. They're both on the C drive for me, and that's very important. Okay, the next thing you want to do, go back into settings, display, graphics. Find Spider-Man 2 on this list right here. So what you want to do, not this one. If, like me, you don't see Spider-Man 2 on this list, it's very easy to add an app. Go to Browse here, go back to Steam, find Spider-Man 2 in your library, right click on it, go to Properties, go to Installed Files, go to Browse. Here you can find the file path on the very top, copy that. Now go back to here, paste that. You'll see spiderman2.exe here under Application, click Add. Here we go. Okay, now that it's added here, go to Options, and you want to set this to high performance and save it. Okay, the next step is go to Device Manager. This only works if you're an Nvidia card, by the way. Scroll down until you see Sound, Video, and Game Controllers. Click on that. Here you're gonna see Nvidia High Definition Audio. You want to disable this device. This lags the game like crazy. I don't know why. Of course, for some people that are actually using this device, it will stop the audio on your computer. So if that's the case, enable it, of course. But if you're not actually using this for audio, disable it. It uses a lot of GPU, and I have no idea why. Okay, the next step is to go into Nvidia Control Panel. Once again, on the left hand side, you're going to see Manage 3D Settings. By the way, you need to install Nvidia Control Panel if you don't have it. Scroll down under Global Settings. You'll see Shader Cache Size. You want this to be at least 10 gigabytes, ideally 100 gigabytes or unlimited. And there's one thing we're going to try just to make sure that the game is running optimally. So what you want to do, by the way, click on Disabled, and what we're going to do is delete all of the cache files for Nvidia. So go to Disabled, open File Explorer, see File Explorer, go to Users, go to whatever user you're currently logged in as. Find App Data Folder. By the way, this is a hidden folder, you can't see it by default. You have to click on View, Show Hidden Items. It's a very similar process on Windows 10, but a little bit different. Go to App Data, go to Local, go to Nvidia, and you're gonna see two different folders called DX Cache, GL Cache. So what you want to do is click on this, hit Control A, and delete everything in this folder. And do the same for GL Cache, Control A, delete, and delete everything in this folder. By the way, before you do this, you want to make sure that you are not running any games or anything that Nvidia is running, or Steam or anything like that. Make sure you shut down everything before you delete those. And then what you want to do is reboot the computer. Then after you reboot the computer, restart Nvidia Control Panel, go back into Manage 3D Settings, go back into Global Settings, find Shader Cache Size, and switch this back to 100 or unlimited. And that will fix a lot of lag for the game. And the very last thing I would recommend is a software called ExitLag. This software is a software that specializes in increasing FPS for video games on your PC. I use it for everything. It is absolutely amazing. It is especially good for online games. But basically what it does is that it finds VPN servers that are closest to you, but not only does it decrease your ping, it increases FPS by changing a lot of settings on the computer. This improved my FPS in all my games by about 20 to 30. I am not even joking. I have it connected to my Steam right now, and you can see my Steam has a very, very low ping. I was getting about 30 ping in Marvel Rivals, and then I started using this. I started getting about 15. It is absolutely crazy how good this is. You can also shotgun internet. For example, if you want to use mobile internet, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi all in the same connection, you can shotgun it here and use them all at the same time. It is amazing. You can also have it identify how fast it is. You can also look, it is good. I'm not going to go too much into it. It is free for 3 days with no credit card necessary. Might as well give it a shot. I'm going to leave a link in the video description and in a pinned comment, so please check it out. If this video helped you, please leave the comment and please subscribe. If it didn't help you, leave the video a comment on what the problem is and I'll do my best to get back to you.